Kidnap. The film starts with video clips recorded by Carla Dyson, Halle Berry, of her baby boy Frankie, Sage Correa. The clips go on over the years as Frankie gets older, with Carla enjoying every minute with him. In the present, Carla is a single mother that works as a waitress at a diner to support herself and Frankie. She has to deal with obnoxious customers while being short-staffed, including a family whose son whines about wanting hash browns and a couple where the girlfriend is rude and impatient with Carla. Carla's boss says he has called another waitress to come help so she and Frankie can leave to spend the day together. Carla takes Frankie to the park. While he runs around the playground, they play Marco Polo. The two then sit down to watch a show in the park when Carla gets a phone call. She leaves Frankie on the bench with his recording toy. Carla talks to her lawyer, who tells her that her ex-husband wants full custody of Frankie. When Carla tries to argue against this, her call gets dropped. When she goes back to the bench, Frankie isn't there. Carla asks other parents if they have seen him, while she goes around shouting Marco repeatedly. Carla then goes to the parking lot and sees a woman, McGinn, pulling a screaming Frankie into a green Ford Mustang. Carla runs to the car and clings to the side until she falls off and her phone falls out of her bag. Carla hops in her minivan and chases after the other car. They ride through the parkway, where the Mustang causes some accidents. Carla tries to alert other drivers to the incident once she realizes she's lost her phone. The woman then drops a toolbox on the road to get Carla off their tail. As Carla gets closer, the kidnappers roll down the window so the woman can hold Frankie at knife point, forcing Carla to take a different route. She continues to follow them off the parkway. She listens to the recording toy and hears the female kidnapper talking to Frankie, making him believe his mom was looking for him. The kidnapper says her name is Margot. Carla sees a police officer on a motorcycle and tries to get his attention by driving erratically. The officer rides up and tells Carla to pull over, but once he gets between Carla and the kidnappers, the villains pin the officer between both cars and cause him to crash his motorcycle in a ditch. The kidnappers pull over onto a grassy field and Carla stops too. The male kidnapper, Terrence Vicky, Lou Temple, steps out with his knife and runs toward Carla. She reverses her car until Terrence runs out of breath. Carla drives toward him as he runs, but she doesn't strike him. Carla offers him money in return for Frankie, but also promises she won't stop looking for her son as long as he is in the car. After Terrence runs back to the car, Margot goes to Carla's minivan and calmly tells her that she wants $10,000 in exchange for Frankie's safe return. She orders Carla to let her ride in the minivan so they can follow Terrence or he will kill Frankie. Carla reluctantly lets Margot inside. Carla follows Terrence's car. As they go through a tunnel, Margot attacks Carla. Carla is able to fight her off and throw her out of the minivan. Carla takes Margot's jacket to give Terrence the impression she's still riding in the van. As Carla continues to follow, Terrence eventually figures that Margot is no longer with her, so he threatens to drop Frankie out of his car, forcing Carla to slow her pursuit. Carla loses Terrence's car for a while. She passes a family fishing and tells them to call the cops on a green Ford Mustang. She then spots an accident he caused that led to a traffic jam. She drives through the field and runs to the car, only to see that Terrence and Frankie are gone. One of the people in the accident tells Carla where Terrence was running off to with the boy. Carla runs to a nearby police station to report the kidnapping. The officer at the desk tells her to wait. Carla then sees pictures of other missing children, some of whom have been gone for over a decade. Carla worries Frankie will suffer the same fate, so she continues the search on her own. Carla goes by a parking lot and sees a black Volvo speeding out, realizing this is Terrence. She chases him until Terrence strikes a pedestrian. Another car almost hits this woman until Carla blocks the oncoming car with her own. She continues to chase after Terrence, but her car is running out of fuel. Carla then spots an authority vehicle on the road and tries to hitch a ride, only for Terrence to ram into the car, killing the other driver and knocking Carla unconscious. When Carla comes to, she runs to the Volvo, but doesn't find Frankie in there. Terrence emerges and proceeds to shoot at her. Carla runs back in the car with Terrence trying to cling on. Carla lets the car go in reverse into the woods, with Terrence getting pierced by multiple branches until the car hits a tree. Carla questions Terrence over Frankie's whereabouts, but he dies. She then gets his wallet out and learns his name, plus his home address, thinking Frankie might be there. Carla drives to Terrence's house. She finds pictures of Terrence and Margot, indicating they were married. Carla sneaks around as Margot is there. Margot talks on the phone to an accomplice over where Terrence is and how Carla has become a problem for their operation. Margot leaves the house and Carla makes her way to find Frankie. She calls the police and the operator says that officers will arrive within 7 to 15 minutes. Carla runs to a nearby barn where she finally finds Frankie. To her surprise, Frankie is there with 2 other abducted girls. Carla gets Frankie out but has to run when Margot returns. Margot appears to realize that Terrence is dead. Carla and Frankie run by the lake. Margot sicks her dog on Carla, but she and Frankie are hiding under the docks. Carla creates a diversion by letting a small boat sail across the water to make Margot think she is there. Margot shoots at it, but then sees Frankie under the dock. She tries to shoot the boy, but Carla pulls Margot underwater. After a struggle, Carla stabs Margot and lets her drown. Carla goes back to the barn for the other 2 girls. A neighbor, Kurtis Bedford, enters the barn with a shotgun after hearing commotion. Carla tells him that Terrence and Margot kidnapped children, though Dell claims they wouldn't do that, having known them for over a decade. Dell calls to the children and refers to them as girls before Carla says that she never told him they were girls. Realizing he is part of the kidnappings, Carla swings a shovel at Dell's face and kills him before he turns his gun on her. The police arrive and bring Carla and the kids out safely. We then hear news reports about how Carla has stopped an international trafficking operation, with arrests being made in places like New York, Paris, and Dubai.